Where do we go? Nobody knows. I've gotta say.
Well, we made it out to California and are making our way back east. We're in New Mexico now on our way. We're going to make it all the way into Oklahoma City tonight. It's been a pretty uneventful drive. We're very tired, very road weary, but it's great to see different country fly by, and we're going to see 12 hours of it today.
Where do we go to draw the line?
Hi y'all. So I made it to Oklahoma City yesterday amidst tornado after tornado after tornado.
The National Weather Service in Norman has issued a tornado warning for northeastern Canadian County and central Oklahoma, southeastern Logan County and central Oklahoma, northern Oklahoma County and central Oklahoma. It is 5:45 p.m. Central Daylight Time. At 4:40 p.m. Central Daylight Time, a thunderstorm with a history of producing tornadoes was located over northern El Reno, moving east at 30 miles an hour. Locations in the warning include Arcadia, Edmond, El Reno.
There went the electricity. Anyway, it's always good to revisit that. I guess it gives you some perspective and gives you a chance to sort of reflect on life and experiences and mistakes that you've made and where you're going next. And it's also kind of exciting. So I was glad we got to go home. The tornadoes were exciting. We were glued to the TV and the radio all night. So it was just like old times. Today, we are headed into New Orleans for 3 days of debauchery. So looking forward to seeing some new country. Never been to New Orleans before, and check it out and see what happens. Very interesting. Culturally, you really do need a passport to come down here. New Orleans is sort of like a mini Las Vegas. They're definitely your odd, strange people, just like in Los Angeles. The unwanted, the sort of people that don't really fit in anywhere. It's just a really, really interesting place. And of course, Bourbon Street, which is filled with nudie bars and live girl shows and all that sort of stuff. Girls hanging out on the streets, prostitutes. It's just a very, actually it's kind of sad and kind of tragic. But it's interesting culturally because it's just sort of widely accepted that that's the way it is, you know?
Feminism has worked a long time to be open to multiple perspective. It used to be very middle class, very white, very U.S., you know, at least the U.S. feminism. And now even U.S. feminism is much more global, much more multicultural, much more attendant to multiple issues of marginality, disability, age, you know, sexuality, those kinds of things.
Squint your eyes and look closer. I'm not between you and your ambition. I am a poster girl with no poster. I am 32 flavors and in some.
Tattoo represents cycles or experiences in your life. Experiences make up who you are as a person. So the dark circle, the dark dot, excuse me, is the birth of a new experience or a new chapter in your life.
I started with that. That was my very, very first tattoo. And then we went back in and recolored it. And then my growth was the vine and the flowers that signified love. But this is a Japanese symbol for spirit, which is really crappy because it grew in. He did the lines too close together. Anyway, Jennifer, my sister, has this on her shoulder. And then in the back, yeah, that's for spirit. And then this is my Capricorn symbol. And this one is my earth symbols. Then this was my tattoo for the, you know, the butterfly, the cocoon, the, you know, growth and going into a whole new life, essentially. I have several tattoos. They're all expressions of myself, particular times of my life, periods of my life that I went through that represent that struggle or represent that coming through on the other side. So they're very personal tattoos. They're very personal pieces of art.
So, can we stop the music? I'll be honest, this is without doubt the weirdest moment in my career thus far. It looks a bit like you've fallen asleep against a map. It looks lovely. I imagine...
I am the most tattooed senior woman in the world.
The most tattooed senior woman?
Yeah.
Wait.
I mean, it's not like it's anything new, the way women are treated with sexuality, but I read a book, Slut, Growing Up Female with a Bad Reputation. I cannot for the life of me think the author's name, but it's a great book. I had a horrible reputation in high school.
Sex when I'm on my period? Are you kidding? No.
I like it.
No, 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 no.
I have had sex on my period.
I don't particularly care for it.
Sexual activity or reproductive control, or not letting the men make the decisions it's us talking about heterosexual partnerships, not assuming that the man will make all the money and make all of the decisions. I think that young feminists really are taking to the streets. It just looks different because they have now a foundation on which they can stand. So when people were, as we say, taken to the streets, they really were laying a foundation on which these young women stand now.
The importance with young people in sex is not just female, not just male, educating them about it. But if a girl gets pregnant at 16 and gets an abortion, or if she just gets pregnant and has the baby, or if she has slept with 47 guys by the age of 18, I don't care. If it was her decision, leave her alone.
There are only two ways not to get an STD. There's not having sex. Of course, some are spread through touch, so maybe you could still get one. And condoms are the only preventative measures. And the only one they teach you is abstinence, because they don't want you to get pregnant.
And then I remember one time in 6th grade, some boys were making masturbation jokes, and all of the girls were giggling, and I was like, do they not know what it is, or are they just pretending? And I didn't understand why, so I just piped in, and I said, do you know what it is? And I explained it to them. And I feel like that's where it started. The guys thought I was weird, and it didn't hit me. And it didn't hit me until high school, after all of these things happened, that for some reason, if a girl was crude or vulgar, or even if she just knew things about sex, it was weird, it was wrong, and people didn't like it.
What a male-dominant culture will do is sort of fling out enough opportunities and, tap dance around and then go, what inequity. Those men, they just have all the power, and dang it, they won't let us have any. It's, wait a minute, this is unfairly distributed. We need to redistribute that.
I was just reading through some of the antipornography.org's website. That's my dog. And there's so much information to sift through, so I thought I would sort of narrow down this week's topic on a very hot button topic right now, and that's pornography, as it sort of pervades all of our social consciousness. What is it about it that makes it so prevalent in our daily conversation, but yet nothing really seems to be changing?
Too many times I have wondered what all the trying is for. You come around, I feel so down.
How can we come together and support you so that it doesn't happen again, so that you can help other people and have it not happen to them, and to just say to the world, hey, you know what, this is kind of not good.
There's plenty of idiot white males out there, right? But the whole of men that do not turn against them.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
It's been called the world's oldest profession, a prostitute.
I have a very difficult time with this, with, where is the difference between owning your sexuality and buying into the objectification, and that's a real problem of the now.
When there's this increasing pressure on women to conform to the sexual desires of men, and there's this idea promoted that women only exist to serve men. Even if it's through subtle misogyny and not explicitly stated, this makes it so that a woman saying yes doesn't hold as much weight, because if she's saying yes because she feels she has to, that's not real consent.
Where is the difference between owning your sexuality and owning a kind of sexuality that has been sold to you by the popular media that is not really a healthy sexuality?
Definitely not being treated by guys, definitely setting the standard, I think, is important. And I think, unfortunately, we sacrifice that because sometimes we're girls, I guess. And that's ridiculous. We shouldn't. Like, we should be able to put our foot down of how we want to be treated.
We forget that feminists are actually just human beings. We're people. We're not, we may wish that we were really good all the time, special, magical, that we always behave with the utmost altruism, and we know the right answer that is the perfect thing that will prevent any social injustice. But we're just people. We make mistakes. We have our own sort of issues or tendency to hierarchize, as you were pointing out. I feel, or as women, we've always been taught to say, oh no, I'm just this person, you're so much better than I am. And so some of it is, sort of our classical training as women, but some of it is just, we are not feminine. Just because you're a feminist does not exempt you from human failing.
I don't know. What do you think?
Arg.
How can that blah, blah, blah. Think you'll be getting this now?
A 21st century feminist is comfortable with confusion, contradiction, things that seem antithetical to each other coexisting side by side.
It should be more, I guess, African American or women in general that's mentors to other women, because it shows, I guess, it can give some, make them determined to kind of do better.
I think every woman is a feminist in her own way. Definitely growing up in this, I think more so the society in the U.S., I still think we have that, we're still fighting that male domination very heavily in a lot of industries, but I think that the women are taking a stand.
I think it's really any female who, believes in being empowered and believes in equal opportunity, and, I don't think it has to be that overbearing person that's going to push it in your face, but if the time comes up and something needs to be said, she'll stand up for herself and make it known that something's not right or something's not fair, and we do deserve everything else that everyone else deserves.
I think a feminist looks like any woman, I don't think there's like a typical look or a typical, dress. It can be any average person that you see on the street any day. It could be a man.
I think a 21st century feminist is, a woman who pursues her goals. Whether that's becoming a CFO or becoming a stripper. Granted, I'm not really keen on the last one, but...
buildings and bridges are made to bend in the wind to withstand the world. That's what it takes. All that steel and stone are no match for the air, my friend. What doesn't bend breaks. What doesn't bend breaks. We are made to bleed and scab and heal and bleed again and turn every scar until we choke. Sit around and laugh until we choke. La, la, la.